No one can intelligently make a decision without the whole truth. If we receive false information and base our decision on misleading data, our output will be just as faulty. Garbage in means garbage out. To correct the problem, we must get the truth out so people can make proper decisions. Before anyone is willing to change, they need to know why they should change and what the benefit might be to do so. They will wonder, what do I have to gain or lose if I do or do not change? If we correct the system, we will be out of debt and will significantly increase our real wealth. No one joins a loser, everyone wants to join the winners. Have you ever noticed anyone saying during the election season, I want so, I want so and so to win, but he does not have a chance, so I won't waste my time, my vote. They seem to think that it is important to support the winner and vote with the majority. A candidate may be a moral Christian man and well qualified, and the voter may like everything he stands for, but he votes for the winner. It should be known as supporting the lesser of two evils. How can we make any justification for voting wrong? Wrong is wrong. To win, we have to show everyone the strategy and lead them to victory. Why we should care where the money came from. Abraham Lincoln Greenbacks created no interest. If you receive a loan of other depositors' money, there is no new debt created. Labor is loaned and returned as labor, giving everyone equal protection of the law. If the banks can steal or counterfeit in a few years, they will own the nation's loans, create inflation, and for every dollar created, they will raise $1 of debt that the nation must repay. The people must forever pay interest on all the currency issued to the counterfeiter. All property will eventually be liened and foreclosed on to pay this debt. The counterfeiter receives all the wealth without contributing anything. If this does not strike you as fundamentally wrong, then you must think that our founding fathers were wrong to conduct the Revolutionary War that gave us our freedom. What we have in today's banking system is the old feudal system, only worse. And if you think it doesn't matter who funded the check, then you probably think there is nothing wrong with the following. 1. You deposit money and the bank returns it as a loan. 2. The bank deposits your promissory note into your checking account and returns it to you as a loan. And 3. A deposit means that you loan the bank money, you loan the bank the promissory note, the bank loans the value back to you, calling it a bank loan. You must repay the bank, but the bank never repays you. 4. You agree to the bank stealing from you and returning the value of the stolen property back to you as a loan. 5. You deposit your future payroll checks into a checking account, and when you withdraw the money, it's in the form of a loan from the bank to you. You believe that you should repay the bank loan. The bank should never return the money to you, the depositor who provided the capital that funded the loan. Questions people ask. Tom Shaw. Does the Federal Reserve Bank return profits to the government? Yes. If you are an accountant, you know that you can adjust expenses to be sure there are little, if any, profits. In accounting, we call it smoke and mirrors. If the banks create money and loan it out at interest, you will be kept in debt paying interest. Question. You say we need equal protection. Can anyone be a banker and still make sure there is equal protection? Answer. You have to look at the intent of the Founding Fathers' Constitution. They intended gold and silver to give us equal protection. Counterfeiting ends your right to equal protection. Question. Can you trust the government to create money when creating it causes inflation? Answer. Americans know that they can vote Congress out if Congress overprints money. The banks are just using this argument like propaganda to trick you again. Today, the banks can create a recession or a depression to increase their wealth at will. If we create United States notes, you can nearly double your wealth and end bank-created recessions and depressions. United States notes ends the economic effect similar to stealing, counterfeiting, and swindling. Question. Should I feel right about getting my house for free? Answer: under the constitutional banking system, you are not getting it for free. You are repaying the loan to the bank, and the bank is repaying their loan to you. All debt is thereby canceled. Question: why do you think the Fed published books exposing the truth? Answer: before I came along, people had the Fed publications but never understood what they meant. The Fed tried to convince us that the banks were benefiting us. I took their publications and acted like an expert witness to expose it. One man needed my expert witness training to understand and expose these practices. The Fed never dreamed that someone like me would come along and unravel it. As it was, it took me 3 years living off my savings to put it all together. Other expert witnesses would never spend 3 years living off their savings. This is what Fed counted on. They never expected me or anyone else to do it. Question: can we win? Answer: everyone wants out of their loans. We will win if we can get enough Americans informed and organized. Andrew Jackson won the presidency on the issue. We will simply repeat history. Question: what if the media smears Tom Shaw? Answer: if they do this, we have contingency plans that will make it work to our advantage. Question: what happens if they jail or kill Tom Shaw? Answer: first of all, God called me to do this, so God protects me. To be prudent, plans have been made. If I do not contact certain people every few days, the plan is triggered and uh, Pandora's box will be opened. Question: what is the probability that the bank will crash the economy? Answer: if we get books and brochures out quickly enough, they would be foolish to crash it. If 1% of the population knows the truth, by word of mouth, 10% of the nation will know in a few days. In weeks, every American will know who to blame and what to do about it. The bank's first choice is a cashless society to gain absolute control over you. They may use the computer problem in the year 2000 to create economic instability to further their plans. Question: what is your view on guns? Answer: At the writing of this book, I have never owned a gun. I do not want to accidentally shoot myself. Governments are trained to put down riots and armed rebellions. That is what government do best. If 1% of the population went ballistic and started shooting, the police or army could stop it. The media would be used to turn everyone against those rebelling, and the rebel force would be wiped out. The government does not fear this. They fear 1% of the population passing out the brochures to the nation and 90% joining the 1% to vote out the government regime that has been keeping the people in slavery. The 90% do not need guns to become free. Question: what are our options if the police, judges, and attorneys violate their oaths and our rights? A. Answer: elect me president of the United States, and I promise that if anyone commits a crime, a grand jury will review it. If they are guilty, they will stand trial. Tens of thousands of people all over the nation are recording names, places, times, and evidence of their rights being violated. Many faithful government agents have come to us asking for amnesty. We grant it, provided that they join us now and do not straddle the fence. Waiting to see who wins, judges behind the scenes have joined us, giving us suggestions as to what to do in court. Honest law enforcement and military leaders have joined us to keep their oaths of office. I am very proud of these Americans. We need to pray for our government leaders and help them keep their oaths of office. Question: do you hate judges, police, and lawmakers? Answer: no. Jesus said to love them and pray for them. If I love my neighbor, I will not allow him to continue to act sinfully. I will not be in partnership with wickedness, lies, or half-truths. Question: are the banks acting like money changers? Answer: if they refuse to accept the same kind of currency that they use to fund the check, they know they are merely acting like money changers. The bank liability is without interest or a lien, just as is your second promissory note. Question: can we wait for 4 more years? Answer: yes, if enough brochures and books get passed out quickly enough, and if enough Americans learn the truth and want out of their bank loans. Question: what do you mean by history repeating itself? Answer: King George tried to take away guns from the colonists. If he had today, we would be directly under British control. The conquerors must take away your guns before they go to their next agenda. History will show that once the non-banker wake up, the people will be set free. This is why the banks and government are so fearful of our brochures. Watch Australia. They will be the first nation to be indoctrinated into the cashless society and have their guns confiscated as an experiment. Soon America will follow if we do not get our brochures out quickly enough. Question: do you think that the government will try and correct all this before the next presidential election? Answer: yes. If we get out enough brochures, they will have no choice. They will correct it if they wish to remain in power. Question: do you trust them? Answer: would you trust someone who deceived, lied, and misled you? They tried to talk you into a balanced budget without telling you the source of the problem. They created the national debt. Then instead of fixing the problem, they want a balanced budget. Behind the scenes, they tried to get a constitutional convention to rewrite the Constitution, ending all of our rights and making the current banking system lawful. They created debt problems, thereby contributing to divorces. The wealth shifts from the married couple to the attorneys. Then we have trouble collecting child support. The solution is to correct the banking problem and help the people have the money to stay married. Two spouses working to pay interest means less time for the family. If children do not get the attention from their parents, they may seek attention from gangs or be involved in drugs. The bank solution is a cashless society to stop drugs and crime, force people to prepay at the gas pumps because criminals might flee without paying. Their solution is the convenience of ATMs or credit cards. Every time you use an ATM or a credit card, you just voted for a cashless society. Bank-induced recessions create crime and less taxes are collected. Wrong solution. If we just ended the interest scam, we will not need personal income taxes to balance the budget. Create prosperity and crime is reduced. Less crime means less police, jailers, judges, and taxes. Fix the problem and you have less crime, divorces, taxes, and you do not have to be enslaved in a cashless society. We just need to end their banking system and institute the constitutional banking system to fix the problem. Stop teaching people violence and sex on TV and promote honesty and righteousness, and you will have less crime and VD and divorces. If we do not turn and go down the right road to freedom, they will want a national ID card to be sure that the person using the credit card is really you. The ID card will be sold to stop crime by tracking every person's location. If a crime occurs, they will know who was there. Be honest. This sounds good until you realize that you gave up your freedom to the ones who gave you the current banking system. The criminals will find a way to circumvent the system, and the government will have more control over you than the KGB or the Gestapo. Clearly, government officials took us down the wrong road. I say vote them out of office and put in real Americans who will follow the U.S. Constitution as our founding fathers intended. Question: why do you believe banks are in compliance with federal laws? A. Answer: laws cannot be in conflict. What does federal law say about equal protection? The U.S. Constitution oaths a Republican government, fraudulent concealment, court procedures, etc. The bank or judge may say everyone knew the law when you signed the agreement, so there is no conflict. I say wrong again. Bank lending officers routinely say they loan other depositors money. Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago publications, Public Debt, Private Assets says the bank then uses our money to make loans. Page 2. If it uses our money to make loans, then this statement is in direct conflict with the statement that the bank creates money and loans it out. Who creates the money? The government giving us equal protection, or the banks creating it like a counterfeiter. It changes the cost and risk. If we believe the lie, we could not ever vote intelligently. The agreement, bank literature, and advertising is full of so much confusion that even the banks and auditors have come to believe the lie. If it is a material fact that there is a loan, then all the material facts should be in the agreement. Question: are the courts fair? Answer: you cannot answer this until you understand emergency war powers, trading with the enemy, the U.S. Constitution, the de jure versus the de facto government. Use the law dictionary to understand de facto contract, oath, de facto court, see court, de facto governments, and de facto judge. Then realize that the jury can judge the law as well as the facts. One person on the jury can say, this is a bad law, and set the accused free. Judges only want the jury to think they can judge the facts only, and often delete the part about judging the law. With this in mind, make your decision. Question: why does the risk of the loan change? Answer: if a thief stole your property and returned it to you as a loan, you have now lost your property and have a debt in its place. If the people have debt, they must have income to service the debt. If the bank creates a recession by contracting the money supply, people lose their jobs. The bank either receives your labor, interest payment, or property while never loaning or risking 1 cent of legal tender. Banks historically expand and contract the money supply to increase bank profits. They could not easily do this if the government issued United States notes, cash, interest-free. The bank acts like a casino. They determine the odds of your winning or losing. With a bank loan, they risk nothing and you lose everything. They can change the odds at any time by creating a recession, forcing you to lose your property. Question: it seems like the banks and government can do anything they want. What can we do about it? Answer: they cannot do anything they want. Watch the media. They use the media to get us to endorse their agenda. They need us to approve. They know if the people wake up and reject their agenda, it is over for them. They are very vulnerable right now. Too many people are upset with the government. We have a window of opportunity to educate everyone. More and more people are listening. As an example, many people hate the IRS. If they thought there was a way to end it and balance the budget, they would jump on the bandwagon with us. I just talked to two ladies who were mistreated by the police. They wanted to do anything they can to tell the people the truth. The more the government upsets people, the more people are joining us. The more people that want out of their loans, the more they will join us. We have powerful government leaders behind the scenes joining us. CPAs and lawyers are beginning to see we are right and are becoming willing to help us. Some candidates are running on the platform to correct the banking problem. The media is trying to keep a lid on it, but the lid is about to explode right off. They cannot keep it quiet much longer, and they don't want to be exposed when the people wake up. All we have to do is expose it, and we win. Question: what started you exposing the banks? Answer: I feel God sent me to expose the banks and turn the nation around. I hate being lied to and stolen from. I hate that the banks never loaned a 1 cent of legal tender to obtain my promissory note, and that they can change the odds risking my money by creating a bank-induced recession. As an expert witness, I expose these things. I decide to use my training to show others how to present the argument and win. I told the bankers to correct it, or I will expose it. Question: do you think all the government agents are involved in a sinister plot? Answer: no, I think many are ignorant when it comes to money, or they are deliberately ignoring the truth. I do not think most of them have ever read the U.S. Constitution nor studied it. We must get the truth to them and let them know that more and more Americans are joining us. They are human. If someone gives you money to get elected and says, pass this bill, how many of you would take the money and pass the bill? The only way to stop this behavior is to turn everyone against the European banking system. Question: is the media too powerful? Answer: no. If enough people found out that the media is the bankers' propaganda arm used to herd you like sheep to the slaughter, you would use alternative sources. Question: did the government ever threaten you? Answer: yes. They suggested that if I did not stay quiet, I might catch a stray bullet, or they may find drugs or a gun on me and send me to jail, or harm a family member. On December 10th, 1996, at 9:30 a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia, an attempt was made on my life. Within 10 minutes, the police were notified. They did nothing. We knew who it was, the weapon they used, and the police never did anything. The more brochures that are distributed, the harder it is to silence me. I am not afraid, for I believe God is protecting me. Question: what do you think of President Clinton? Answer: I think if we get enough brochures copied and distributed, he will correct the banking system and be the next American hero. It is not safe for him to do so until the banking problem becomes common knowledge. I believe he is waiting for us to do our job and wake up America. There are definite indications that this is a very real possibility. We just have to make it happen. He knows President Lincoln and Kennedy printed United States notes and were assassinated. Someone tried to and failed in an assassination attempt on President Jackson after he issued money from the Treasury interest-free. If you want President Clinton to help you, you need to help him get the job done. I do not think he is as powerful as people think. The Secret Service guards the president, and they report to the Federal Reserve Bank. That should scare any president wanting to change the system. The media could destroy him overnight. It is not easy being president. He needs our prayers and support to be the hero. Now, obviously, as time went on, we learned that President Clinton was a real fucking fuckwit. Excuse my language. Was a problem. And furthermore, they're all problems. I don't necessarily agree with Mr. Shaw and his opinions, but I feel that this dialect and literature is important. The Bible says a cashless society is coming, so why fight it? Answer: we are called to expose the deeds of the wicked. If we repent, God will give us extra time. We need to expose the truth so more will see the Bible is true and come with us. Question: why are you promoting Lincoln as a hero? Are you unaware that the people in the know believe he was one who got us into this mess we are in today? Answer: I am a relative of Lincoln through my mother's mother. I have the right to tell you that he is not the hero people think he is. I hate to tell the truth about Lincoln and destroy everyone's illusion. Few people know the truth about Lincoln, so I decided to get as much mileage out of his name as I could to attract the general population to this issue. More people join us because of Lincoln than know the truth as to what he did. The media would love to call us antisocial or use name calling. With Lincoln's name, it is harder for them to do it. Lincoln's name will bring in the average American to our side. Without Lincoln's name, the media would try to associate us with every hate group there is. When we come back, we'll be coming back to this question: how is banking connected to religion?